It's nearly as hot outside here as it has been in the pool from an Ireland perspective. How has it been for you watching? Because there's not much you can do to influence or help things at this stage, but high performance is all about making sure the athletes feel free to do what they are capable of. And you've obviously been involved in how that has happened. But for you, on a personal level, what's it been like?
It's been wonderful. There's been an awful lot of work from a lot of people to get us to something like this, and so when all of the pieces come together in the moment that matters, you're delighted as a team leader and as a performance director, and there's so many people to thank for their contribution to this thus far, but none more so than the athletes that have walked through the door with their heads held high and believe they can do a job.
I think for a sport like swimming, where this is basically a World Cup final every couple of hours in the pool for the last while, it's a real sense of community. It's a tiny swimming pool in Ballyshannon that has produced an Olympic medalist, and sometimes we forget that actually the quality of coaching that's happening is allowing the athletes, almost in spite of the facilities.
Yes. The facilities are Ireland's weakness, and the coaching is not. And I do fear at times that we don't know how good our coaches are, simply because they don't necessarily have the resource to show how good they are. They don't have the quality of pool, they don't have enough hours in the pool, they don't have the pool at the right times of the day. And so there are some coaches that if we picked them up and dropped them into other nations where they'd be better resourced, they would fly. So that is a factor for us to consider, and for the stakeholders out there in Irish sport to consider. But what does show you is, if you learn to swim and you have a relationship with the water and you persevere, it doesn't really matter how big your swimming pool is or how wide it is or how deep it is or whatever else. If you've got access to water, you can get a long way to being a champion. And then there's the high performance bit then can take over and help you.
Being involved in high performance is a little bit like the Golden Gate Bridge. You're always painting it to try and improve things as you go along. So what's the benefit, what's the accelerator and the impact of having a gold medalist and a bronze medalist, and like what does that do for your coaches and the number of coaches and volunteers, and how does it improve things generally?
Well, it means that we're getting something right. You know, these athletes have found good programs that work for them. And the inspiration that you can get from that, and the fact that, you know, a coach has got to bounce out of bed every morning, just as an athlete has, to stand on a pool deck at 5:30 and give a lot of their life commitment to this sport as well as the athlete does. For those coaches to look and say, we can do this, it just requires us to have the talent walk through the door, which means we've got to spread our net wider and capture more young people and hope that they want to be engaged with us. The talent walks through the door, you've got a pool of water in front of you, and you're committed as a coach. You've got the three key pillars, and then it's over to you, and that's what these guys have done.
The fact that our two medalists so far have both gone to university outside of Ireland, we should probably just embrace that fact and be aware of the fact that there are great resources globally for us, and continue to improve ourselves. It looks like we're always going to have a symbiotic relationship with other coaching facilities and programs. Is that fair?
It is. There's no doubt that we have to have a wide-ranging menu of options for our athletes to be able to consider. Look, of course, we'd love for all or the majority of our athletes to be based on the island, and they can be, because we have the resources in our three high-performance centres to do that. But sometimes they want to spread their wings and try something different, culturally different, or a degree works better for them in a particular university, or they just need a complete refresh. That's fine too. The key is not everything abroad is better just because it's abroad. There's a lot that isn't. So it's a case of finding the right program with the right coach, right infrastructure, right third level education to go alongside it if that's what they're looking for, and we'll do everything that we can to help athletes into what's best for them as individuals.
One last thing, Mona was asked yesterday when this goes out, about the Chinese swimmer in her race, and just that general sense of unease that people have about the doping question in swimming. Our own checkered history in the pool is something that it's just in the back of the minds of the casual sports fans. Can you just give us some comfort that we can believe what we're seeing?
We can believe what you're seeing from Irish swimming. There's no doubt about it. We pride ourselves in being clean, and so there's always going to be doping in high performance sport, not just swimming. It's going to be across the board. And we need to do everything that we can to help the sophistication of the testing and the robustness of the processes be strong enough to, first of all, be a deterrent, and then secondly, to catch those that choose to cheat. What I can tell you is that Irish swimming is pure, and when you see an Irish performance like you're seeing it done organically and correctly.
Good stuff, John. Thanks very much.
No problem.